Yeah, look at that. I didn't even see the darn time. That's because we're sitting back here talking. Ladies and gentlemen, in the house, my new best friend, because he is going to help me navigate the news world of Connecticut. Give it up for Eddie Torres, Streets of Hartford. He brought his daughter in, and we're going to try to get you in and out so we don't bore her to death. So I appreciate. She has this look on her face of like, can we get this over with? We appreciate you being here. So talk to me. Tell me what you do. It is not dissimilar than what Mike Ortiz does. You are a street journalist. I think that's the best way to describe it. You are on the ground, sharing with the audience what's going on in the street that you know the mainstream media isn't covering. Absolutely. With that, just go. And you may have to move your microphone up to you. Go ahead. Yeah.
So basically what I do is I just keep everybody completely informed 100%. As much as I possibly can, one person, one man band.
Move it up to you. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, really, so they can hear you. If you can't hear your voice on the microphone, I mean on your earhead, there you go. Okay.
Right.
That's perfect. So you are letting everybody know what's going on in the street because you know the news media can't be everywhere. Right. And sometimes there are some stories that the news media covers that you get behind the scenes information on.
Right.
You also do something that a lot of these journalists don't do or don't put a lot of effort in, and that is you operate a drone on many of these.
I do.
And
yes.
Talk to me about that because you are notorious for using this drone. In fact, you told me a story about a police officer that you went to a scene of a story, and the police officers recognize you for this. Tell me what he said.
Yeah, sometimes they say, hey, where's your drone? If it's raining, I don't really fly too much. But,
yeah.
They know my face. They know when I'm around, and, they love the drone.
Mm-hmm.
You would think it would, that they wouldn't, but I get a lot of respect from them, whenever I'm around, they welcome me as long as, you don't cross their lines.
Yeah,
they're all right.
You are considered, and the reason why I was even introduced to you, and you are friends with Mike Ortiz, but I didn't get your name. I heard from you from former cops and from cops on the beat who know you, who say, talk to this guy. This guy's respectful. This guy's doing it right. And the officers on the street, when they see you, they was like, hey, Eddie, what's going on, blah, blah, blah. So they know you're not in there you're not disrupting them in anything. You're just getting the story and informing the public. And they assist you in that by making sure, well, you make sure you don't cross the line anyway.
Exactly. So the first thing that I do is I'll go up and I'll introduce myself if they don't already know me. And I'll, let them know what I'm doing and that I'm just here to get my coverage and I'm out of their way. I don't want to impede. I don't want to be a bother. And they respect that.
Yeah, you're what we used to call sort of a beat reporter, right? So you're on the ground, you're getting the basics of the story, you're finding out the who, what, when, and where. You don't do the why, until you know why.
Exactly.
And that's the most important part. And you get those stories to those people. Sometimes the stories are the gruesome ones. It's a shooting, it's a fighting, it's a stabbing.
Yes.
Those are the things that you are finding out. And the media can't be everywhere because their budget's tight. But you, in a way that you and Mike Ortiz work, is that you are working the algorithm, if you will.
Absolutely.
Right? So that's where you're getting your financing, or at least the money that you make off this is based upon how much the people are invested in your news reporting.
Correct.
And what I love about what you guys do is that the underbelly of the story, because every news organization out there has an agenda, if you will. They're not going to tell the dirty secret behind the story. When Mike Ortiz was here, he was talking about the story about, when they were arresting illegals in the area. And he was telling us the other side of it, people in the Hispanic community who are operating in a place of cheering on ICE agents, where we're under the impression the Hispanic community doesn't like what's happening.
Exactly.
But they don't do that kind of reporting. But because you and Mike don't have, one, you don't have an agenda, and two, you don't have a position in this. You're not political in any way. You're there just trying to get the news to them. Raw news, honest news, straight news.
Straight news.
Why did that become your sort of modus operandi, your MO?
It's not necessarily that it became it. It always has been it.
Okay.
My mission was to just really expose everything that has been going on, not just bits and pieces. And it's all raw, like you said, uncut. It's right up front, and it keeps the people informed on absolutely everything that's going on within the city, not just what's been cherry picked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Do you feel like that your audience feels like they are being heard through these stories? Like these are things happening in their neighborhood.
Right.
So essentially it is happening to them and you are reporting on their on their streets, so to speak,
Absolutely.
or about their streets.
Yes. And a lot of times these people, they live in these areas. They don't even know that stuff like this was going on until I stepped in and started putting out there everything that has been going on, because I listen to the scanners and all that. And I report it as that,
You told me a great story about some people who have come to you and said, if not for your reporting, do you remember that part that you tell me?
I do remember.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, family people that, they take their kids to school in the morning. If it wasn't for your reporting, I would have been stuck in an hour's worth of traffic. But because you reported the incident, I went around and I was able to get my child to school on time.
Wow.
And that happens a lot. I get a lot of thank you messages. I get a lot of people that reach out and say, hey, listen, that was my family member.
Wow.
Thank you for keeping us informed, because if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have known that they were in that situation.
Damn.
And I get a lot of it. This happens almost daily.
Now, you said something also in our pre-interview is that you want to do more of this.
I do.
You really, and you want nothing against your job. I know you love your job,
no, I get it.
but this is something you want to do because you're passionate about this.
I got a huge passion. I've built a passion for this it's only been 8-9 months that I've been doing this. And it's just a fire that's inside of me. The people hear me, they love what it is that I'm doing, and I wish that I could do more.
There's a bunch of you, as I mentioned, Mike Ortiz, who's doing this. The guy who you keep mentioning, I keep forgetting his name, and I feel bad. Is Joey or Johnny?
Johnny, my man, Johnny Cruz.
Johnny Cruz, that's his name.
He's the man out here in Hartford.
Is he?
And I got to give it to him. He's the one that really inspired me to go forth with this, because I always wanted to do it, but once I started seeing his videos and how he was doing, I was like, this is a space that I would love to be in. You know what I mean? And,
so did you see his reporting first, and then how did that sort of mature into what you're doing now? Did you just see his and then say, can I do it?
So basically, when I started seeing his videos, I was always seeing stuff myself, and I would always send him videos. So we kind of built a rapport. I built a rapport with him, and we became friends. And then all of a sudden, he mentioned to me, oh, how come you don't, do this? And how come you don't start a page? And I did.
You know what? Let me tell you something. I say it all the time, is that is the true nature of good reporting and a good reporter.
Absolutely.
Recognizing that we need more, not less of them.
Yes.
Because they can be, Johnny Cruz can be everywhere and then nowhere at the same time, where you can be somewhere else. His focus is, how can we get more of what's going on to everybody?
Absolutely.
And Mike Ortiz has that same, view as well.
Right.
He's like, let's get the news to everyone. Yes. Do you think that there is a group of people who are in Hartford, who go to streets of Hartford, who come to you because they feel they're being let down by mainstream media? Is that ever sort of something that people bring up?
100%.
Really?
I literally have people that inbox me telling me that they don't even pay attention to that anymore, that they specifically come to my outlet.
You know what's going to happen when you guys are making some traction? Those media outlets are going to start reaching out.
Well, they already started reaching out, for my content and whatever. And
yes, tell me this story.
So, at the very first time I let it go, I was able to let them use a couple of my pictures, but it didn't work out the way that it was supposed to work out.
Tell me what happened. You don't have to say who it was, but what would they do?
So you sign their disclosures, and they are supposed to give you credit,
right,
the way that you want it.
Okay.
And the instructions were to give me credit and also my outlet, Streets of Hartford, credit.
Okay. So it should be Eddie Torres, Streets of Hartford.
Correct.
In sort of some chyron that says courtesy of.
Right.
Okay.
Or all credit to.
Right.
Photo credit to.
Right.
And so that was what I signed for. But then when I saw my pictures online, it said credit to Eddie Torres, not to my outlet. And when I approached and I asked them, the response was, well, we thought it would be more professional if we just used your name, not the Streets of Hartford.
So they thought that because of your spelling or
it's possible.
Because Streets is with a Z.
Correct.
And saying that was unprofessional. But who cares?
In their eyes, not mine.
Yeah, well, who are they? Listen, you chose the Z that, and people recognize what that means. In essence, it is more of an urban usage of the word.
Absolutely.
And in essence, you are the one who made that imprint, so it should be respected.
Absolutely.
So, and then from that, from what I heard, you have now decided to never give them any of your content.
I will not, because to protect my brand and to protect my my pictures and my videos, I was able to get a content license agreement drawn up.
Okay.
So the next time that they did reach out, I told them you can use them, no charge. I wasn't even looking for any money.
Right.
But I need you to sign my content license agreement so that my work is protected, and they would not do it.
Wow.
So ever since then, I honestly I won't even respond.
And they actually reach out to you
They
to
still
use
do.
the
Yeah,
still
they,
do.
They still do,
And you refuse them.
I tell them I sadly have to decline,
Yeah.
and that's it.
Because I mean, the crazy part about that is that they know they don't have the budget to do the work that you're already out there doing
Correct.
for yourself.
Correct.
You are providing them with a service. In essence, you're like the AP or Reuters.
Right.
Right? Mm-hmm. So just like every other newspaper out here, if they don't have space in their newspapers, they'll take an AP story and put it in their local paper.
Right.
That's how it's done.
Mm-hmm.
You, in essence, would be that.
Exactly.
And not giving you credit is one thing, but two, you're not even asking for a dime.
I'm not.
Your credit is important because then their audience is drawn to your reporting.
Exactly. And that was my approach. I was just trying to grow myself, grow my outlet.
And it should have been, and again, and this is going back to Cruz. Was it Johnny Cruz, right?
Johnny Cruz.
Johnny
yes.
Cruz goes back to what I said about him. He saw you as, look, I'm already an established guy. He could have kept the whole pie to himself. Yep. You're sharing stuff, giving it to him, and he says, "No, dude, go do you should be doing this."
Right. Well, so we work together.
Exactly.
That's what we do.
And there's a bunch of guys who are doing this, and you all work together. I know there's a little bit of rifts now and again to all these other towns and whatnot, but what you guys are doing is a real service to, I mean, the on the ground people who are waiting forever for their neighborhood or their town or their street or whatever's going on for them to be heard or to have attention given to it.
Correct.
Because I always go back to this. You ever see that movie Boys in the Hood?
I did.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
It's my favorite line in the movie because I think it exposes the press beautifully. When Ice Cube says, I was watching the news the other day, and they were talking about all these wars and all these killings, and there wasn't no mention about my brother. And he says either they don't know, it don't show, or they don't care about what's happening in the hood.
They don't care.
and that's how Streets of Hartford is born.
Right. I care.
Yeah. And
born and raised in Hartford, it's my home.
It's a beautiful thing to watch you guys do it.
Right.
When I first got into radio, I was introduced to the guys who did public access radio shows or TV shows, I should say. And I thought I was so fascinated by those shows because they're community, they're free, and, guys would talk about just anything. Then I got into the bloggers who were in and around the communities, and I found that there were these little niches of where they were talking about in the places that they were roaming, if you will, the sort of underbelly, and in some places the I want to call it the urban legends kind of spaces where they are. What you guys are doing, I'm not going to lie. Sometimes I look at these stories and I go, oh.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that because I was given a nickname by another outlet. I will not say who.
Okay.
I don't even think they believed some of the stuff that I was posting because people just aren't used to hearing the things that are dispatched.
Right.
And that's one of the things that I do is, I pick certain dispatch calls that I will put out there to keep the people informed on certain things that are going on in their neighborhood or whatever. Right. And
what was the name?
Urban Legend.
Really?
Yeah, they made a post and they said something about urban legends, and I just took it, and now it's one of my hashtags now.
I love it.
I wear it proudly.
There you go. But no, that's the beauty. Like I said, the beauty of this is the fact that you guys are on the ground where these guys are getting called to news. Right. You guys are you're following the police scanner, and if you hear a story that's something that you're on the ground running, like. It's an amazing job to have, but what you guys are putting out there, I find fascinating. I follow all of you now, and it's funny because it's weird because some of the news you guys cover, I'm already covering, so it's not, well, I'm way ahead of the curve, but everybody else, if you want to be ahead of the curve, Streets of Hartford is the way to go. How can they find you other than Facebook? Is it just Facebook now, or is there a website?
No, I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram.
Okay.
I'm on YouTube Shorts.
Okay.
I'm on X as well.
And is it all Streets of Hartford?
It's all Streets of Hartford.
Okay.
And
with a Z?
With a Z.
Okay.
But mainly Facebook is where I go update
everything.
Everything right
there.
And then from there, I spread out to the other.
If you are on Facebook, Go to Streets of Hartford. I'm going to post the latest story by Streets of Hartford, put it on my page so you guys can follow him. You have no idea some of the stories that are on there, which will keep you informed every day, all day. Even with a regular job, Eddie Torres is out there getting you the news and getting the folks of Hartford the news. Eddie, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you coming in, man.
Anytime.
And well, of course, you will always be back here.
Whenever you want me back, you just tell me.
You got it, absolutely. And I want to thank your lovely daughter for dealing with us. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. We'll give her a round of applause as well. Thank you. She is looking at me like, look, I don't want to be a part of this, okay? Can you leave me alone? Thank you, buddy. All right, let's get another check on traffic and weather. My good friend, Mark Christopher. Again, a superhero in his own right. He is in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. Well, if you're heading on the southbound side of I-91,